Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the FTRL channel, where you join us from a very wet Singapore. So season 11 ticks over the halfway stage as we commence around 7 tonight, and as ever it is the turn of F1 on Mondays. Joining me on commentary tonight is, as ever, Mr. Simon, aka Blue Flag. Good evening, Si.
Hello. Hello.
Have we recovered from last night's exploits?
Yeah, last night's exploits weren't too strenuous. Yeah, compared to the early start I had this morning, that was nothing.
Yeah, so for those of us who obviously aren't aware what we're on about, last night was our GT Sports, you've retired already, endurance race, all in aid of Mind Charity, where we'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody who contributed or got involved with the streams or who took part, as we raised over £450 so far for In Mind Charity. But we'll touch on more on that a little bit later on. Obviously it's the F1 boys now, and we'll focus on that. And we have already lost Raver's Revenge. What has happened there?
I don't know, I couldn't see any yellow flags out in the first sector, because that's about as far as he would have got in the time we've had.
As he retired in the pits. I saw a car trundling down pit lane, but I didn't see who it was. Who was the first one out, and then yeah, lo and behold, a retirement. So is Ravers deciding he just wants to start at the back, I wonder? Which, given the currently that would possibly suggest also a wet start to the race as well. Whilst Bran goes very deep. Yeah, just avoiding the wall.
That's the wall that got me in performance on Thursday.
So yeah. And Bran very sideways there as he heads into this very tricky section over the bridge. Guys scrabbling for grip here, heavy wets on at the moment, so it doesn't look like we're going to have any intermediate running anytime soon. And of those who are left, so 16 tonight, 13 currently on track. Just landing in the pits now as just so everybody out on track early to get some runs in. For the eagle-eyed amongst you, you will spot we have a new driver joining us this evening. That's LR Yogurt, who has started his first flying lap with a spin on the pit straight. And some wing damage, so not off to a flyer. Imagine he will return to the pits and have another crack at that. Got one of the house coming up behind him. Good Pagani. We'll go on board with now as he's on a flying lap. So yeah, the wet around here is likely to see Pagani's pulling out his drift from Russia again. Not quite as spectacular.
He's had a couple of mini drifts.
So this circuit's tricky at the best of times. Throwing the wet weather into the mix means a lot of opposite lock. Pagani's demonstrating there. This could potentially mix up the order.
Yeah, if this is the cream of our crop, then this is really going to put him to the test.
Pagani turning right around left-handers at the moment, which is an interesting tactic. This section here, coming in over the little bridge. This is a section I particularly struggle at. This sort of very quick direction change just seems to unsettle the car, and I'm usually backing it into that corner. So Pagani looking fairly tidy there through that time though. He is now being caught by one of the McLarens. We've got a race on the track. I think it's Neon Rapid. Pagani's gone straight on. Getting out of the way of that McLaren. It was indeed Neon Rapid. So will he be the first to set a I would say a lap time rather than a competitive lap time. So I don't think the pace around here is going to be particularly quick tonight in the wet. So let's see what the F1 boys can do. So first lap time on the board is a 57.0. Joe Byrne drops in with a 57.1 just behind him. Pagani finishes lap with 2.03. And our Yogurt's come across the line despite the wing damage, so at 2.19. Brand drops into the 56s with 56.2. And Zach though only 57.0 there, so did he perhaps get held up a little bit? Dutch Tricks pops up into P2, so lap time starting to flood in now.
As I say, if we think back to Russia, that was also a wet qualifying, and Brand did take pole position that night.
Bran our wet weather specialist. He's leading the way so far. As Deneen deposits in with a 55.7, that is fairly rapid, starting to lower the pace, or lower the times at least. So Tico only down in 9th place, coming with 59.4. 2 minutes there, drops into P10. So both McLarens, both Mercedes looking strong at the moment. Pick up Super Guy, who's coming round the final couple of corners now. Our winner in Australia. What can he do? There's a bit of a wobble at the final corner and a bit of a drift. Pops himself up into P7. So far, so just 2 guys left to set lap time. That's Danny as Super Guy having a big drift through 2 and 3. Keeps it out of the wall.
Brand's in a wall.
Danny has bailed out of his lap.
At the end of the bridge.
On board with Tico. He's currently down P10, second last time out, as he goes past one of the Mercedes there who's gone round.
That's Dutch getting out of the way.
So even the very best struggling in these conditions. Back end stepping out there, Tico, as he heads under the grandstand. Neil Rapid putting himself up into 3rd place now. Oh, Tico there with a big drift through that final chicane. Guy's struggling a bit for grip at the moment. Trying to find purchase in the wet conditions. He improves to a P4 though, 56.4. Currently it is the McLaren sitting pretty 1st and 3rd. Interestingly, Danny has fitted the intermediate tyres in pits, as has Lennon, so isn't no. Change my mind.
The rain does look like it's eased.
Yeah, and our Yogurt also there's fitted the intermediate, so Dutch having a huge wobble in the background there behind Tico. Does not look comfortable at the moment. But then this is Dutch Tricks, and he very often will pull something out of the hat, because you don't become a 3-time champion in F1 without being quite good, even when the chips are down.
Company got a streak of 3 consecutive pole positions going.
At the minute, he's doing his best Tokyo Drift impression. And quick dive into the chat. We've got Aaron in the chat there. Obviously our winner yesterday from the endurance race. Not begrudge him the fact that he punted me off 2 corners from home. Not me, I'm not salty at all. Oh, Dutch there, spinning the back tyres up. I don't think he is enjoying these conditions at the moment, but yeah, we're seeing more and more drivers now coming out on the intermediates. Do anybody on a flying lap yet? No, let's have a look at Zach, currently down in P6, still on the wet tyre.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll be surprised if he finishes that lap.
He's bailed out. Let's have a look at Bran then, obviously a bit of a wet weather specialist. He's the first out on the intermediates. So Aaron is rooting for a Danny podium tonight. Danny's just on his outlap at the moment. He's on the intermediate tyre, so the track does suggest it's dry and still rain falling, but not as heavy as it was before. We've had a lot of the guys now making the switch over. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's just somebody getting out of the other guy's way. Just following up on that comment there, Aaron is blaming the cluster of cars behind him. It's not my fault, and giving a hiss there, although that might be for you, son.
No, he's definitely hissing at you.
So Bran then, the first of the runners on the intermediate tire, get my words out, to set a competitive lap. Let's see how he gets on. Still very wet there, getting a bit snaky as he gets on the power. The rain does appear to have eased off there, no rain falling in that shot. Comes to the checkpoint in sector 1. He is 0.8 of a second up, so the switchover has definitely happened. Yeah, everybody making that switch over now. I'm currently half a second down on LR Deneen, but if he can continue this pace, this will take him onto pole position. Stands a very tight section here. Over the bridge shortly.
Oh, it's tackle wall.
Looks like he's got wing damage on the left side. It's in the end plate, that's going to understeer him wide, just keeps it out of the wall. Despite it being a street circuit, there's quite a lot of high speed sections. This is one of those really in-between ones. Well, Monaco, obviously, you've got the walls, and it's a very big snaky moment there from Brandt as he comes out from under the grandstand. So Monaco, oh, and again, just missing the wall as Danny pops it onto pole position. So the other racing point hits the front, a 53.3, and Brandt, despite that wing damage, does a 52.9. So racing points currently 1 and 2 on the grid. It's a great effort there from Danny as LR Yogurt, the new driver, pops himself onto pole with a 52.0. It's a full 9/10 faster than Bran, that is. Although Bran obviously having that wing damage. Joe Burns pops himself into P3 now. Joe fancying the wet conditions. But lap times are tumbling now. Let's go pick up Dutch Tricks. We just started a flying lap. We've got the FTRL switchback in the stream there, just resting his voice tonight after 4 hours of comms last night. We appreciate that, Zach. That is a Herculean effort from yourself, as long as us in the cars as well. So what can Dutch do? He's 9/10 of a second up on his best time at the moment in the first sector, so lots of time being found by the drivers now. The rain's starting to ease. There's a bit of a wobble though, so it's still treacherous. T. Smith in the meantime has popped himself up into P2, so we've got an Alfa Romeo 1-2. Our current championship leaders, Dutch Tricks and Zach, currently sharing row 5, down in 9th and 10th. But they're now on their first flying laps on the intermediates. Expect them to make a big jump. Leon Rapid pops himself up into P2, breaks up that all Alpha front row. Into sector 3. It goes faster again, a 51.6, and just moving the goalpost even further away. So he's now relishing these conditions. Now it's got a little bit drier. Dutch there looking neat and tidy. Comes to the final couple of corners. There's a lot of curb cut there. as first Zach, and then Dutch takes over at the front. So our two title contenders, or current title contenders, now 1 and 2. Dutch Tricks looking for 4 consecutive pole positions, and he now leads the way. Still waiting on Lennon to set the time. He's doing his usual repertoire of leaving it till late, going out for a single run. Man who relishes the pressure of one-shot qualifying. Tico now pops himself up into P2, so our big three are where you would expect them to be. As the track's starting to dry, they're coming to the fore. And Danny, having been on pole more than a minute ago, is now down to P9.
Trying to work out what Deneen's up to in the final sector. It's been parked there for 30 seconds or so. It's got going now. Just waiting to be the last car across the line, I think. Or one of the last.
Now, interestingly, Joe Burns has fitted the softs, and Bran and T. Smith are on mediums. Has the track dried out? Pagani on mediums as well. Are we going to see some?
Well,
still?
I've got a question whether or not they're going to get round. Joe isn't getting round because I think a hot lap round is about 1:33.
T. Smith out as well, but
maybe.
Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to get around, are they? There's still a lot of wet on the cameras. I don't think.
Bran might.
Bran's coming on towards the end of the lap. So he's up. He's only midway around the lap. It's going to be tight. 10 minutes to go, though. Probably just about
it, but if the guys that have bolted on those dry tyres, I think he'll be the one that makes it.
So we've got Bran, you've got Lennon behind him, but Lennon's on the intermediate tyre still.
Yep,
it's still raining.
Behind Lennon, and he's on medium, so
he might make it round as well.
Yeah, Pagani's so much quicker than Lennon through that sector.
Lennon has gone out on the wrong tyres. Has Bran played a blinder here? Got 35 seconds to go. It's still going to be tight. He's got to get the shift on. Is he going to make it round? It's going to be very close, him and Pagani. It's still raining, so I don't... It's a brave call. 20 seconds. This is going to be nip and tuck.
Pagani's getting a hurry on.
It's going to be very, very close. 10 seconds to go. They might just make it.
Just scrape it. Bran's through.
Bran's going to make it.
Pagani's
Pagani as well. Oh, 2 seconds to go.
That's it.
So, could we have a Bran Pagani front row? Currently 8th and 13th. Look at the sector times. Touch tricks there in the foreground. He's currently on pole. In the first sector, Bran is 2.3 seconds faster.
Pagani's 3.9. Might just be on his own personal best though.
So, but that will be enough to put Brown to pole. Dutch getting out of the way in the background there. Pagani going through. Are we going to have? Well, if these two can keep it clean, I think these two will be the front row starters. It's coming to the end of sector 2. Bran is now 7.1 seconds up.
10.7 for Pagani.
So Pagani's going to do on 48, so that'll let it will be these two will be the front row if they get round cleanly. Everything else is finished. Bran and Pagani have played an absolute blinder here. Can Pagani get a pole? Or is Bran just going to deny him? Bran's so close to the wall. You have to be out of that corner. And Bran with a 1 minute 40.4, Pagani with a 40.7, just 3 tenths between them, and they have stolen the front row. Timed that final run on the soft, or on the dry tyres to absolute perfection, and they will start Singapore Grand Prix from first and second.
Brilliant call from those guys to put the dryers on.
An inspired choice, and it reaps the dividends. For the second time this season goes to Bran in the Racing Point, and joining him for the first time in F1, Pagani in the Haas. Dutch Tricks goes off P3 alongside Tico, with current championship leader Zach in 5th. Our debutant Ella Yoggett is 6th, with Neon Rapid and T Smith sharing row 4, and Deneen and Joe Burns sharing row 5. And then we've got left 13 seconds. That's time to go through. Super Guy will go off 11th ahead of F3 in the second Ferrari. Danny in 13th ahead of Ross. Raver's Revenge and Lennon not able to set a time either. So they will be going off the 8th row together. So qualifying done. Let's get those podium predictions in. Obviously a bit of a jumbled grid here. Might be a little bit harder to call. What are you thinking, Si? Or are we going to wait to see what the weather's like? Well, it's dry, but the sky looks grey.
Yeah, I mean, it is night, so it's a bit difficult to tell. I think I'm going to go for the usual suspects on the podium tonight. But I strongly believe that tonight Dutch is finally going to finish in front of Zach. He's been trying all season, though. I know it's eating at him. I think tonight's the night he finally gets it done.
Yeah, so he does.
So I'm going to go for Dutch. I'm going to go Dutch, Zach, Tico.
Dutch, Zach, Tico. Okay, I do agree. I think this will be the one that Dutch gets. I know he's quite highly rated around here. Zach was talking himself down as well. So I'm going to go for a Dutch for a win. I'm going to go Tico second because he's starting ahead of Zach, and then I'm going to put Zach in P3. And we can have a look in the chat. I think Aaron's put his prediction in. Aaron reckons Dutch for the win, with Zach in second and Bran to hold on for a podium in P3. Danny's going for Pagani for the win, him for second, and Aaron for P3. Struggle, don't we?
So nobody's starting soft tyre. I know that tyre tends to overheat quite quickly in dry conditions around here, so probably not a viable option for a long stint.
So we're looking at the grid then. We've got Bran on pole position starting on the medium tyre. Pagani in second, also on the mediums. His best start since he came up to F1. Dutch Tricks on P3 on the medium tyre, with Tico starting 4th, also on the medium tyre. Then third row and 5th and 6th we've got Zach and LR Yoggurt both starting on the hard tyre. So they're looking to run long the first stint, going with the alternate strategy. And the first time we've seen Dutch and Zach go with alternate tyres at the start. 7th is Neon Rapid in the McLaren on the medium, with T Smith also on the medium. Behind them, Deneen and Joe Burns both starting on the harder compound, as is Super Guy and F3 and Danny, who goes off P13. The two Toro Rossos, 14th and 15th, Ross and Ravers, start on the medium tyre, and Lennon, who's starting P16, is going off on the hards. So it does look like everybody's gone for a harder compound with a view of finishing on the softs. As I says, they do tend to overheat around here. A lot of long corners overheating the outside tyre. We've got 4 cars on the grid. Seem to have got some contact, including Brant. So I think he's had a bit of a contact with Pagani there, somewhere around on the formation lap. And the rest of the grid forming up now.
I think it's going through that final chicane. Everything seems to get a bit congested.
Find a few cars coming into position. You've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. The Singapore Grand Prix is go on our screen, but not on the game. God's sake, Codemasters. And away they go. Good start by one of the Toro Rossos. I think it's Ross. Brown holds onto the lead. Pagani going for the inside. Bit of a wibble. Oh, a wobble. That's what I'm looking for. Tico up the inside. Dutch has gone down one. Tico attacking for P2. Around the outside of Pagani. He's gone round.
Pagani's gone round.
Oh, and he's been hit. Oh, crash in the background. Pagani's out. I don't know who hit him. That's opened up a big gap
as well.
I think Danny may have been one of the ones who collected him then. Branner's got away. And Pagani has gone.
A Renault front wing. So Lennon's lost a bit of wing. Ross has lost some wing.
Oh, not the start we wanted at all. Pagani's race over at turn 4. Oh, Nia Rappad's gone as well. Oh, he's in the tunnel. One of the Ferraris is in there as well. It's Zach.
It's Zach. Zach's got no. Yeah.
Zach's got no wing.
So he's ghosted out of it.
Drama on the first lap at Singapore as our championship leader has crashed and has lost his front wing. Did he hit Pagani then, I wonder? Or has he just had a crash in the bridge section of the lap? Meanwhile, the front 3 have broken away. In fact, yeah, he was running 4th, so I think he's just had an accident of his own. The top 3 have broken away. Bran holding off the advances of Tico for the time being. But Tico right on his tail.
For both Ferraris in the pit lane, Zach's going to have to queue.
Oh, Super Guy has left us. I think he's lagged out. Tico on the attack. Down to turn 5. Bran holds him off. Dutch just keeping a watching brief, but this is Dutch's chance to bring back some big points on Zach. Got to play the long game though. Zach is down the order. Dutch just needs to keep it tidy, keep his wing intact. You know, he likes this circuit. And Zach, having started 5th, running 4th, is now in 14th with 2 retirements. That's Lennon going past Super Guy for P10. Super Guy's car, Super Guy's lagged out. Hopefully he'll be back in shortly. After all the opening lap drama, Brad has held on to the lead. But he's got Tico and Dutch in hot pursuit. These 3 have broken away. LR Yogurts in his first race at FTRL in P4. He's already got 3 seconds in front and 3 seconds behind. His teammate T Smith running in P5. Deneen is up 3 places into P6. We've got Joe Burns up into 7th. Raver's Revenge up 7 places already, up into 8th place there. F3, he's also up 3 places into P9, and Lennon up 6 into P10. So more importantly, F3, who is P9, is 31 seconds behind Raver's Revenge.
Yes, so F3 is the first of the cars that have had to pit.
So it's I can't really see Zach getting any higher than F3 unless people ahead of them retire, because that is a huge gap.
Yeah, and Zach of course had to queue behind F3 in the pit, so he's lost even more time.
Brown continues to lead, Tico in hot pursuit and Dutch right behind him. Stanley picks up the first penalty of the race. Brown a little bit wide on the exit there of that hairpin. And behind them, LR Yogurt is just starting to chip away at this. The lead this top 3 got it. Got it down to 2.3 seconds. Over 3. So he's starting to chip away. Is Bran just starting to hold up Tico and Dutch? They've just pulled away a little bit in this sector. But he is dropping his teammate. T Smith now 4.2 seconds behind as Zach moves up one place as he overtakes Danny. Dutch looking very racy at this stage. He's popping out from behind Tico. Bram was a little bit wide there through the final corner. And Tico's got to run. He's to the inside into turn one and he takes the lead. Tico stretches his legs now. This has been Dutch Tricks will want to be getting on with chasing after him shortly. So is he going to attack Bran as well? Oh, Bran into the wall. He's lost his end plate.
Dutch had a big wobble behind him.
I think Dutch's wing is still intact, but Bran damaging his wing. Oh, he's so close to the back of Tico there. Is Dutch's wing intact? Dutch's wing is still intact. Managed to dodge any contact there with Bran as he bounced off the wall. Super guy, his car is lagged. He's still waiting for him to get back into the session. He's down to 14th, so that's promoted Zach up to P12. Still 2 places outside of the points paying positions though. Zach is the fastest lap of the race, so he is now on the charge. He's on the medium tyre. So he's going to have to stop again. Tico is now...
He has already run the hard, so he can go to another set of mediums if he can make this set last.
This is true. Tico now just starting to stretch away. Dutch is looking for a way past. I think he's very aware that in his mirrors that Alfa Romeo is starting to close in.
The back end of that Mercedes looks very lively.
The yellow flag in sector 2. Who or what is that? Nope, we've got a Toro Rosso without his front wing. That's Ross. Back up to P11.
Here goes Dutch. Up the inside at turn 1.
So Bran's damaged wing starting to hinder him now. And Dutch is through, and LR Yogurt is now just 1.2 seconds back. Oh, big one from Dutch as he came out of 4. See how quickly already he's starting to pull away. He's able to keep up on the straights in this middle sector of the lap where the corners are. He's going to struggle with that damage. You can see already there how quickly pull away sector 3, yellow flag. Oh, Danny's retired. Danny is gone from P12. So the other racing point is unfortunately out of the race. Singapore, a very unforgiving circuit.
Side walls quite hard around here.
Indeed, much like Baku. High speed circuit with walls just inches from the racing line. Of course, unfortunately, claimed that Bram with a big kick of oversteer there as he got the power on. All the while, LR Yogurt is close to within 6/10 now. He's in DRS range as they come on to the start finish straight. Tico now leading the way, 1.5 seconds ahead of Dutch. And they've got 2.1 seconds back to Bran, who's starting to struggle now with that wing damage. LR Yogurt, oh, very wide there. Bran just defending the inside.
Outside of Bran this time.
Swoops around the outside. That's a brilliant overtake. He's gone over the...
It's cut too.
See that Bran back through? He does.
Good
driving there.
Back.
Good driving there. The game may have told him to do that, but that's good driving nonetheless. Gets the DRS out.
He's got the DRS this time.
To the inside this time. And this should be easy work. And he moves into a podium position. Tico just stretching his lead out, 1.7 seconds. So could this be the week that Tico finally takes another win? Oh, Bran into the wall! And he's gone!
He's gone.
And unfortunately that is the end of both racing points. Just clipped that wall on turn in, took the wheel off, straight on into the runoff area. And unfortunately that pole position does not transpire into a good result. I'll be disappointed with that. Started so well. Around here, wing damage is just An absolute killer. Let's spread everything out. Currently the closest battle we've got is between T. Smith and Zanine. T. Smith out to P4. Of course, that accident for Bram will promote Zach into the points.
Only 6 laps completed, we've lost 4 drivers. Well, 5 drivers, because Super Guy has left the session and I don't believe he's got any intention of coming back.
Oh yeah, I'm just seeing that. Deneen then on the hard tyres, T. Smith on the mediums, so we've got contrasting compounds, so Deneen doing well to stick with T. Smith at this stage.
Seems to be on the pace a bit more than T. Smith at this point.
Tico has stretched his lead to 2.2 seconds, so he's just inching away from Dutch, so Tico seemingly very happy around here. See a lot of tyre marks there on that section lap. I just wonder if that's from Zach's crash on the opening lap.
Yeah, I think that's where Rapid wiped out. I don't know where Zach was in relation to Rapid's retirement, but if he was behind him, that's probably the main cause
I think
of
he was
how
ahead.
he got that wing damage.
Yeah, I think he was ahead, wasn't he? Because I think Zach was in P4 and Rapid was a couple of places back at least, so I don't think they had an accident together. I think Zach must have just lost it on his own, but I'm sure we'll discover later on. Tico's lead now up to 2.5 seconds, so just inching away. 2.8 seconds now, but a big jump there in that sector. We're still watching Deneen chasing after T. Smith. Deneen are reigning F2 champion. T. Smith, who also came up last season.
Tico did say in last week's podium interview, he was quite confident, it's got to be said, that he was going to win this week. He's doing the job so far.
Deneen to the inside of T. Smith with the DRS, and he's up into 4th position. So the harder compound not slowing him down at this stage. However, he has lost touch with LR Yogurt, who is 8.4 seconds ahead of him. So LR Yogurt currently looking very good for a podium finish. He's also on the hard tyre as well, so we're going a bit deeper into this race than the 2 ahead of him. Deneen, you can see already how quickly Deneen is pulling away from T. Smith in this sector of the lap. Still within DRS range there, so he should be able to pull him back a little bit. On his way. Let's catch up with the race leader then. Tico in the Red Bull. That line there where they just sweep, because obviously the wall's just pushed out a little bit. They just sweep out there, taking all the track. And just worries me. Worries me when they get so close to the wall. But I think if you're that good and that quick, you have to just use all the track. That does mean getting close to the walls because it's the quickest way. Again there. Shout out to Raver's Revenge. Raver's Revenge now P6. Well, so he's got ahead of Joe Burns for their early battle. But yeah, after the early plethora of accidents, everything just settling down a little bit now. So they're looking very comfortable in the lead. Oh, Dutch there with a big slide as he comes over the bridge. Getting the back end of the car out. Getting a bit more kick of oversteer as he gets on the power. The gap's very equal between Tico, Dutch and LR Yogurt at this stage. About 3 seconds between them, but Dutch is very squirrely on the power. are very keen to get after Tico. But Tico is just inching away from him at the moment. Still second place with Zach down in 10th, although he is closing on the back of Lennon. It's going to be a good haul of points back to Dutch if he can hang on to a P2. But he does need to worry about that car in the background there, LR Yogurt. He is just starting to chip away at that lead. It's now 2.7. And he is on the harder compound tyre, so are we... Well, we're starting to see the harder tyre come into its own. I think those medium compound runners just dropping off a little bit. Although Tico continues to pull away.
So if Dutch were to finish in P2 as he is now, and Zach gets to P8 where F3 is, as we probably expect he will do, Dutch would close to within 5 points at the top of the standings.
So a season's worth of hard work from Zach done in one race. But a sizable advantage, winning 5 and finishing second in the others so far. But yeah, P8 will be a huge blot on his copybook. He is now right onto the tail of Lennon. And going defensive. Looks like with the DRS should swoop around the outside. And he takes P9. That was very deep through 5. Comes on to the position. Next one for him is his teammate. F3, currently 5 seconds further ahead. So quickly, Zach already putting 1.5 seconds into Lennon.
Dutch in the pits.
So Dutch pits. I say that lead was down to 2.2 seconds, so Dutch definitely needed to get off those tyres. He goes onto the hards. Looking to take these to the end. Deline goes through into 3rd. I expect T. Smith will also clear. No, T. Smith's in the pits. Raver's Revenge though coming round. He clear a Dutch as well. Will Joe Burns also get through? Does indeed. Joe Burns goes ahead of his teammate. And Dutch comes back out into P6. Pits as well.
Dutch Tricks will pick up the DRS off of his teammate.
That'll be useful information for TK, because if he were to pit now, he would probably come out just ahead of Raver's Revenge, which would be a nice gap to be in. Closing very quickly on the back of his teammate there.
Yeah,
just a
so
bit
the
of a
thing for Dutch now is he's got to follow Joe round for a couple of corners.
To the inside. I don't think Joe will make this very... Oh, no. Oh! Joe goes deep. I don't think Joe wanted to give him that, but
yeah.
Dutch kind of forced his hand. He's up into P5. Got a yellow flag, set 2 and 3. Or what is that? Not too sure. That's Tico pits. In fact, Ross has got some wing damage there, so I think it may have been him making contact with the wall. And so on debut, LR Yogurt is now the race leader. Tico pits onto the hards. Deline goes through into 2nd. It's a very long pit lane here, so it's it definitely takes a while to get up to speed. Here comes Ravers and Dutch. Tico coming around out of the pit lane, and he has held on to the lead. Dutch has closed that gap. Running that extra lap.
T. Smith's rejoined the race just in front of Zach.
As Dutch goes past Ravers and using the DRS, he's got himself to within 1.4 seconds of Tico, so he's taking about 2 seconds out of Tico's lead with that undercut. 2 guys ahead of them are both on the hard, or started on the hard compass, so they're going to be running a bit deeper into this race. So what can Tico and Dutch now do about them? Because LR Yogurt is the one we probably need to watch. He was within 2.2 seconds of Dutch when he pitted. So he'll be out on either the soft or the mediums, depending on when he decides to pit. I think we're expecting mediums. So will he be a factor in the end, at the end of this race? T. Smith has got Zach into the back of him, and Zach has damaged his wing again. Clumsy from Zach. And T. Smith on the brakes there after the bridge section, and Zach just ran into the back of him.
How many sets of hard tyres did Zach have? Because that could influence what he does at the end of this lap.
Very true, very true. I would expect the drivers to go for the harder blend of tyres, but
they've only put one lap on that other set, and he's pitting.
Yeah, he's pitting, so
I imagine this will be a set of hard tyres to the end.
Here he comes. This race is not going well for Zach. He did say he didn't really like it here. And there's hard tyres going on, so hopefully this will be his last trip to the pits. Fresh nose cone, and he's on his way. With Ross having damage as well, the super guy out of his car should retain a points paying position.
Has got within a second and a half of Tico.
Oh dear, it's now starting to go out again. I think he's had a poor exit there, so it's a 1.8. So Tico just stretching his legs a little bit again. Got those hard tyres up to temperature. So Tico just starting to stretch away again. Dutch has had a better run through that sector. Ebbing and flowing. But Dutch does look like he's got the bit between his teeth. I've seen Zach pitting again. He knows this is a golden opportunity to haul a lot of points back. This battle is currently F3 and T. Smith, so having dealt with one Ferrari, T. Smith and that, having defended for one Ferrari, he's now attacking the other. F3 yet to stop. Into a fresh set of mediums after that early accident. T. Smith on 3 lap old hard tyres. Bran in the chat there saying he bottled it, so unlucky Bran. But again, great pace there in tricky conditions. And timed his final run absolutely perfectly. So at least 2 points to the score there, so it's not a complete loss. T. Smith now right onto the back of F3, not close enough to have an attack this time. And Royal Dutch tricks now with the inner second of Tico. Tico's had a poor lap. Or Dutch is having an exceptional lap, but he is now honing in on the Red Bull. Dutch looking more comfortable on the hard tyre. Tico looked very happy on those mediums earlier. So close to that wall again. We've seen these two put up some excellent battles over the last season and a half. It looks like we're going to get another one tonight. Dutch now within half a second. Now Dutch into the dirty air. 8 seconds, not too far back this time. There's the DRS to just close up again. Dutch now within half a second. T Smith also within.
Yeah, T Smith's just had a look at F3.
Have a look at the inside there. F3 on 13 lap old mediums. He's making them last well.
Yep, F3 of course already made a pit stop at the end of lap 1. We wanted to get an extra couple of laps out of these if we can.
Tico even close to the wall that time. We're really having to push now. Dutch has got the magnets on. Interesting, these two aren't making headway on Deneen, and they've only taken about half a second out of him. As Raver's Revenge pits. 40 laps on those, or 50 laps on those medium tyres. That's a good stint from him. Zach languishing down in 10th position still. He's got 16 seconds to make up on Lennon. He does have to pit.
Intriguingly, Raver's Revenge has put the soft tyre on. That suggests another stop. I don't think he's going to make it to the end on the soft. Is that an accident? Is that an accident, or is that a calculated risk to go at fastest lap?
Dutch is right on the back of TK now. He tried the wider line through the hairpin to get a good run down the straight. He's got within 0.3 of a second. Which is very comfortable on these tyres. They're also now really closing up on the back of Deneen. Got these down to 1.8. When do we expect the guys who started on the hard tyres to come in? Tico just brushes the wall there, coming out from under the stadium.
Oh, Deneen with a massive slide.
Those hard tyres look like they've passed their best. And Tico picks up a time penalty. How many times have we seen Tico lose positions?
It's Tico's Achilles heel.
Yeah, he's been looking a little bit ragged. I think he's feeling the pressure from Dutch. And there is the first penalty to the Red Bull man. Right onto the tail of Deneen, so he should get DRS down the straight. Which should save him from attack from Dutch this time. Goes to the inside. Dutch going to try and follow him through, but he doesn't make it. Oh, then has a big slide on exit of 5. Deneen trying to get racy around the outside of Tico. But he is now in between them. This is well, this is what Tico needs. He needs Deneen to back Dutch up for a little bit. But I don't expect it to be too long before he gets through. Oh, and Dutch picks up a penalty.
Dutch has got one.
So we're back to
level playing field.
Indeed. Deneen line looked a bit wide out the hairpin. Dutch got back a little
Lennon's
bit.
in the pits.
That promotes Zach up to P9. After his teammate, only 2.2 seconds down on his teammate again, so he's expecting as Dutch dispatches of Deneen. Okay, set off chasing down Tico again. Race leader in the pits. End of lap 17. So a 13 lap stint now. Does he go for the mediums or does he go to the softs? Looks like the medium tyres are ready for him. Indeed. Deneen's on his way.
For one more.
So Deneen, a man with a history of picking up punches, that's a very brave decision. It's usually one lap too far with Deneen, isn't it?
If he gets a puncture tonight, I'll blame you.
I blame him. Should have learned. Should have learned. You've had enough warnings. Battle for the lead. Nose to tail now. Dutch has a look up the inside. Tico has to go a little bit defensive. Ravers there setting the fastest lap as you called. But does he have to stop again? Right on the tail of T. Smith as well, Ravers. But are those tyres going to last? Tico's tail. Doesn't look this time. Just keeping Tico's mirrors full. Raiders is up into P6. He's dispatched T Smith, but maybe on the Tico again, just brushing the wall there, coming out of that section. Dutch then with a slide through the chicane. Just open the gap up a little bit. Should save Tico this lap. Wide through the final corner. Dutch closing. Not close enough this time. He will be right under the rear wing as they head onto the next straight where the DRS is again. Tico got a good exit out of that corner. Is he close enough this time? I think he's too far back again. Yeah, doesn't go for it this time. Deneen has pit. As Joe Burns on 18-lap-old hards goes up into P4. So once again, Joe nursing his tyres. Dutch just touched the wall there. The wing's okay. It just looked like he maybe brushed the wall there.
Just the lightest of brushes.
Just a little tap. Looks very aggressive on the brakes there, coming off the bridge. Car very lively. So close to the back of Tico there. So we said about Zach catching his teammate. His teammate's pitted, and he's now on the medium tyre, so he's actually on softer compound, and he's holding Zach at bay. So Zach might not necessarily get to P8. We shall see how well F3 can maintain his tyres. Tico's had a good run through the final couple of corners there, managed to get far enough ahead to not be under attack into turn 1. Yogurt sets the fastest lap of the race. He's come back out in P3 as we'd expect. He's about 6 seconds off the back of the lead 2. What can he do in the next 11 laps? Can he close down? He's on a fresh medium, so he's on a softer compound. Tico again safe for another lap. In the DRS section at least. Joe Burns, the last to make his first stop. He should come back out in P7. Still there, it's 3 places up, Raver's Revenge. P5, he's up 10, he's the big mover today. Lerman up 6 as well. So we go past the ghosted car of Superguy. Another titanic battle between these two. We saw them battling at Spa last season. Moving in formation there. Tico got caught out by the inside curve at P1. As many lesser drivers have also done. Now, LR Yogurt has really got the hammer down on this lap.
Big slide through the final corner.
Managing the background. LR Yogurt's got that gap down to 4 seconds. That was 6 seconds 2 laps ago. He is on an absolute charge there. The fastest lap, 39.0. LR Yogurt is bringing himself into contention here. That wobble from Dutch has given Tico a bit of an advantage. He's still within DRS range. But he'll be safe into turn 5 this time. In the background, just coming through shot there.
Yogurt can now see those two.
He is coming at a rapid rate. And we have heard he does have good pace. So we're looking forward to the challenge of taking on the best FTRL have got. He's going to insert himself into this battle for the win on his debut. I'll keep an eye on that gap. It continues to fall, 3.3 seconds now. Dutch has regrouped. And it's back onto Tico's tail. So Tico not as comfortable on the hard tyre as Dutch is. Neither of them should be that comfortable with a car on the medium tyres honing in behind them. It's now under 3 seconds. Now let's just watch again as they come out of this stadium section. Tico often comes right up against that wall. Seems okay that time. A lot of curve there though, Tico. Again, just moves away there, just off the racing line, just to break the toe a little bit from Dutch. All the while, in Dutch's mirrors, there's a white dot getting bigger and bigger. Again, just coming through shot, you can see him in the background, he is coming. And Dutch is within half a second this time. Is he going to be close enough in the braking area? He thinks about it, Tico has makes a move to the inside. Yellow flag in set 2.
That's some body work on the track.
Dutch is now looking for a way past Tico.
I think it's Ross again.
Yeah, there he is, just getting out of the way. Runoff area.
Picks up a penalty for his trouble.
Yeah. Wow, look how close LR Yoggett is now. He's within 1.3 seconds. He's almost in DRS range. This will be why Dutch is getting the hurry on, because he's soon going to be defending and attacking. Take a lot of curve there. Has LR Yoggett played a strategy blinder here? 9 laps to go. And he is within DRS range. So nobody picked him for a podium, probably because he's an unknown, but he's definitely putting himself into contention. Tico's there, right to the pit wall, trying to break the toe from Dutch. Closes up under braking.
Got to watch the unknown.
There's a second covering the top 3 now. And Yoggett is there. Dutch needs to stay as close as he can to Tico coming out of this corner. He's a lot closer this time. Tico is just moving around trying to break the toe. I think Dutch is close enough this time. Tico goes defensive. Dutch to the outside. No way through. Oh, big kick of oversteer. Oh, he's at the wall. And that's wing damage. Yep. Left side. And that will leave him vulnerable to attack from behind. He's got a good... Yoggett's got a good run. Don't go there. Wait for the straights. Wait for the straights. You must have seen that piece of bodywork fly past him. 4-tyre drift there from Yoggett coming onto the bridge.
Just got to be patient.
As we predicted, Ravers has pit. Back onto the softs again. So we'll go for another soft tyre run. And he's dropped in behind Zach. Yoggett's thinking about a move to the outside. Oh, Dutch runs him off the circuit. We have to give that place back. Oh no, he's taken second place. Dutch driving as best he can, but you can see there, left hand side. Oh, he's so close to the wall again. Oh, wing damage is really going to hurt, especially these 2 corners here. You can see how wide he goes there that time round. Dutch now is driving wounded. I think it's probably better, it's probably just safest to just take the P3. He's got 22 seconds back to Deneen, so he's not under any pressure from behind anymore. I think at this point you've just got to say to yourself, take the P3.
I was going to say with Zach still down.
Oh, late move.
P8. Oh, late move.
Oh, contact, round he goes.
Round. Dutch has avoided it.
Yoggett having made a late move for the lead. We've seen that kind of incident a lot this season. The car on the inside always goes round. He dropped himself back down to P3.
Will that be making an appearance on the steward's desk tonight?
Shall see. Can he get himself back into contention now? So he's got away without any damage. Just got time to close up again. Those tyres will not have enjoyed that. Meanwhile, the Dutch has started to close back up on Tico, so despite that wing damage. Big question, does Tico have any damage, or is he... No, wing looks okay.
So that Red Bull looks intact.
Yep, still got both ends of his wing. So Dutch is just driving out of his skin to stay in touch. Oh, so wide through the final corner.
I say Dutch maybe pushing to try and get Tico to pick up another penalty.
Seems to be picking one up itself though. Yogurt just starting to chip away that lead again, although his tyres will not have enjoyed the spin. It was a fairly low speed one though, so shouldn't have scrubbed them too much. Dutch is showing why he is a three-time champion FTRL here, but with wing damage around Singapore and 14 lap old hard tyres, and he's catching the race leader. So close to that wall there. Sector 3, yellow flag. We've got Ross around out the final corner. Sector 1. I'm assuming that's just Rossing. Our Yogurt is closing again as Ravers retakes the fastest lap. Dutch putting the pressure on. And once again, there is a white dot in his mirrors starting to loom large as our Yogurt's starting to close in again. So he is not done yet. Still 6 laps to go. Looks like sector 2. Well, the gap from Ross to Super Guy has not moved in a while, so I wonder if Ross has gone somewhere. Yep, just returning to the track there as the leaders come round behind him. Oh, and spins again into the wall. I think he's cooked his tyres. And our Yogurt meanwhile down to 1.5 seconds back. He's honing in on the top two again. We're about to have a three-way battle for the lead again. Zach, meanwhile, is now just starting to chip away at F3's advantage over him. Down to 2.4 seconds, so possibly a P7 on the cards. Joe is starting to close on T. Smith for P5 as well. So nursing those tyres is giving a lot of grip at the end. We've got 1.8 seconds covering the top three and closing. So Tico and Dutch get so much closer to that wall there coming out from under the step. Oh, Dutch must have just brushed the wall there. And LR Yogurt. See how wide Dutch goes through the final corner. He's just struggling a bit for grip. There you can see there the left side of his wing damaged. LR Yogurt's just outside of DRS range. All three drivers having a moment there coming out of 4. Closes again. Not close enough to Tico to make a move. And they're not closing in that sector. 1.2. This is where those medium tyres now come into effect. He's got so much more grip through the corners of the tricky, twisty part of the lap. gets to within DRS range. Joe Burns also now down to 1.6 seconds behind T. Smith, so about to have a battle for P5, and there's 1.7 seconds between the Ferraris in 7th and 8th as well, so Zach now really honing in on his teammate. DRS for P2 and for P3 now. Who now? Oh,
another penalty.
Of course, I forgot he didn't have a penalty before, did he?
Do you think that's his second?
Look at the race director. Give you a chance. Should see where we're at. I forgot about that. Oh, so close to the wall there, coming out of the chicane. Dutch wide. Yoggett even wider at the final corner. Tico, meanwhile, just managed to hold everybody at bay. Fighting a rearguard action pretty much since his pit stop. And despite that wing damage, Dutch continues to fill his mirrors, although he's dropped back a little bit now. And our Yoggett is closer.
Clutches of Yoggett.
He's too far back this lap. Yoggett have another go. Oh, on the curb. Is it very sideways? Joe Burns now 1.1 seconds off the back of T. Smith for P5. As he gets into DRS, I'm sure we'll back and have a look at those two. Continue to watching this battle for the lead though. And the battle is really for P2 at the moment. Tico just making a little bit of a break. Yoggett is now back with Dutch and looking racy. No DRS down this straight. Does he have a move? Dutch just moves to cover. Let's let T come out of DRS range. Yoggett staying in line. I think we've got a little bit deep there. Lost a couple of tenths. Yeah. Just outside of DRS range for Dutch, which will leave him... Oh, Dutch into the wall that time. Definitely touched the wall that time. And he hasn't got DRS this lap. So now he's vulnerable. I don't think Elio gets close enough this time though.
Trevor's right with T. Smith now as well. So battle for P5 is on.
As is the battle for P7. Between the Ferraris. Dutch now really under attack this time. He's within 3/10. Eli Yoggett. Which side does he go?
Given that Dutch has lost Tico, I would just let Yoggett go here.
Up the inside, he runs them both wide. And he gets it done. Again, that fantastic late move there. He faked to the outside and then last minute switch back to the inside. Gets the overtake done. What can he do about Tico on these last 2.5 laps? But back now to have a look at Joe Burns, who's right onto the tail of T. Smith as they head into that DRS zone as well. So the Ferraris battling nose to tail. Zach still behind as they enter turn 1. Joe, I don't think it's close enough this time. It'll be a very late move on T. Smith if he's going to go for it. It's better of it. Well, Tico is now 2 seconds up the road in the lead.
Zach's got to run on his teammate, going to go around the outside. Into the DRS straight, gives him the inside for the right hander, and that is the job done.
Now P7 for Zach. Covered with Dutch dropping down to P3. That's a little bit of a face saved by Zach. So it's unusual to see Zach make mistakes like he has tonight, but so easy to do around this very unforgiving circuit. Joe Burns still on the tail of T. Smith on their way through. Dutch hanging on to the back of Eli Yoggett, who has a huge moment coming out of 4. Onto the penultimate lap now. Tico holding the lead. Joe Burns down at the final corner. It's a run around the straights, not quite close enough. as they head into turn 4 in the second DRS zone. Oh, he's got a much better run through it this time. He's close enough this time. T. Smith defends the inside, Joe to the outside. Thinks better of it. Tries to get a good run out of 5. Switches back to the outside. Can he do a switch back? Not quite, not got enough grip this time. Oh. Running a bit hot there, had to take a bit of avoiding action. And then picks up a penalty for a corner cut. Oh, T. Smith's locked a brake. He's gone deep, Joe Burns up the inside. Kicks out the back end on the power. And side by side, T. Smith holds on. Defends the inside, Joe to the outside. Giving each other room. Joe gets it done this time. Joe Burns up into P5. Meanwhile, oh, LIO gets hit the wall. And Dutch is back into P2.
Wing damage for Yoggurt.
Just flicked back on there and just saw a bit of bodywork fly up. Did he have a kick of oversteer out of 4? And I think he hit the wall on the left hand side, or on the right hand side from the driver's point of view. And Dutch has stolen back P2.
Well, I think he would have got it back on penalties anyway.
Has he cooked his tyres, I wonder? Picks up a penalty. T. Smith still on the tail of Joe Burns, not quite able to get back through in the DRS zone. Meanwhile, on his merry way now, having fended off Dutch for 15 laps, and then the advances of LR Yoghurt through the chicane for the final time. And Tico is about to take his first win of season 11, and it is victory for the Red Bull man. Dutch Tricks comes home P2. LI Yoghurt on debut will take 3rd place on the podium. Great effort from him. It's good to see somebody else getting up the front there to challenge the big boys in this league. LR Deneen having a lonely race after his early battles with T. Smith. He's going to come home P4. And drop back then. Joe Burns has managed to fend off T. Smith, who's still with him. So having overtaken him, he's not managed to drop T. Smith. So she came for the final time. And the final couple of corners, Joe Burns is 5th. T. Smith jumps him on penalties though. So all of that hard work is in vain, unfortunately, for Joe. But still, the P6 is a solid effort. Zach also jumps Joe on penalties, so Zach takes P6. That's 6/10 of a second. Joe really must have accumulated the penalties there. F3 comes home in P8. Raven's Revenge comes home P9. Up 6 for him. And the final points paying position will go to Lennon in the Sol Renault. A bit of a drift there. Comes through the chicane. Crosses the line. Lennon crashes into the pit wall as he comes across the line and takes the final point for Renault. So there we have it then, and your top 3. When it comes up. Their first victory of the season, and Tico, the man holding the trophy aloft. Joined on the podium by Dutch Tricks and by LR Yoghurt. So an all Dutch podium.
Yep, with Zach around, that's something we haven't seen for a little while, is an all Dutch podium.
Yeah, indeed, so there we have it then. Yeah, indeed, Yoghurt had three penalties looking for, yeah, so we would have had to have cleared off. So Tico is your winner for Red Bull with Dutch Tricks in P2, and LR Yoghurt are taking a debut podium. LR Deneen comes home in P4. Sorry. Nope, okay.
I was talking to the dog.
T. Smith comes home in P5 after a great battle with Joe Burns at the end there. Zach comes home in P6 after his couple of accidents in that one scruffy race there from our championship leader. But P6 is a reasonable salvage job. P7 goes to Joe Burns. Dropped back there on penalties at the end. P8 for F3 in the second Ferrari with Raver's Revenge taking the fastest lap for Toro Rosso in 9th, and Lennon bringing home the points paying positions in P10. Fortunately we lost Pagani on lap 1, Danny also picking up damage, Bran also crashing out, as did Neon Rapid. And now we wait for the podium finishers to join us for the interviews. For the extra person, who we think inside? Ravers went up 6 positions. I think that's probably worth it.
Ravers did go up 6 positions and bagged himself the fastest lap to boot.
Yeah, we've not spoken to Ravers for a while. Let's have Ravers in, shall we?
So I need a Dutch Tricks.
Singapore Grand Prix throws up a unpredictable grid and an unpredictable podium. So we see the first big error from one of the title protagonists. Doing a sterling job to recover a P6 there, but Dutch doing all he can to bring that gap down. It's been just creeping up over recent weeks. Obviously it's the first time this season he's come home ahead of Zach. He'll be happy to have clawed some points back on his title arrival. We know Zach didn't fancy this one very much though, but I think he would have hoped better than to the slightly scruffy race that he's had by Zach's standards. We're so used to seeing just perfection from those three at the front.
I think a quick shout out to Deneen's worth mentioning. That's his 3rd consecutive P4.
Yeah, so we saw a scruff of a couple of races to start, but he's now got his head down. I think we saw last week he was on the cusp of threatening the three at the front. Just couldn't quite catch them, and then has struggled a little bit after the pit stops with the traffic. It just fell away a little bit, but yeah, I think Deneen's definitely due a podium in F3 shortly. F3, F1 even. But just as the podium finishers start to join us. And just waiting for Jochen. Hopefully he will be joining us in a second. And then we will get the interviews underway. You know what, while we're waiting for him, we'll get started. So, congratulations to the guys that have joined us so far. Coming to you, Tico, then. First win of the season. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You said last week you were pretty confident coming here. Circuit you really enjoy. Great start there. It's obviously the qualifying. Talk us through that a little bit there. It was wet for most of the session, and then right at the end it came dry, and 2 of the guys just managed to get a lap in. Did you just miss the cut-off point? Did you know it was going to dry out in time, or?
No, I didn't know it was going to dry out. The engineer told me 5 minutes before the end. It's like 10 or 5 minutes away from dry weather. So I thought, yeah, the slicks aren't going to be the fastest tire. So I stayed on the inters, and yeah, suddenly I saw 2 people on slicks. I thought, what? And then they were 1 and 2.
Well, still at P4. Got a good start there, straight up into P2. Early move on Bran, and then it was you were pulling away in the first stint on the mediums, but once you got onto the hard tyres, Dutch just seemed a little bit more comfortable. He sort of closed you down, and then you were really having to defend for that second stint. Do you want to talk us through your race?
Yeah, I was a bit faster than Dutch at the first stint, so I pulled 3.5 of a second, and I thought, yeah, nothing is going to happen. But then he pulled 1.5 seconds back in the pit stops, and I thought, yeah, I have to push now. But then I touched the wall and had like front wing damage with yellow greenish. So he catched me, and yeah, luckily he got front wing damage after 10 laps or so. So I could hold him behind me.
Yeah, so you had obviously then you two were joined by our debutant Hello Yogurt there, who had one big sort of move up the inside of you, just managed to hold him off. Yeah, so it was not the easiest race around here, especially with the wing damage.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry to Yogurt, but yeah, I thought he backed out of the move because he was around the outside next to me, and then he braked. So I thought I can just steer in, and suddenly he was down the inside, not even alongside me. So yeah, I don't know what to say about the accident.
I say, unfortunately, we've seen quite a few accidents like that this season. Unfortunately, it's just I think it's just one of the things with this game, and when the car goes down the inside, I think that just contact just tends to send them round.
Yeah.
So first one in the bag, and now we're heading to Germany next. How do you feel about Hockenheim?
I like it. I like the track.
I like the track. I say,
That will be fun as well.
Usually throws up good races. So obviously that's first win of the season now. That closes the gap to Zach, who had a bit of a scruffy race. Do you think you've got a late title charge in you?
No, don't think it's possible anymore. Yeah, maybe if Zach has a few more races like this, and Dutch, yeah, as well. Yeah, it will be very difficult to catch them, but yeah, I will do my best.
So Germany next, and then we've got obviously a couple more before Christmas. I think it's maybe just one more before Christmas, isn't it? So we've got Germany and China. How do you think you're going to finish this 2019 calendar off for those two? What about China? Is that China circuit?
No, China. I hate that track. It's the worst track on the calendar, I think.
Okay, so we're not looking forward to China. Well, obviously make hay while the sun shines. So obviously, first win of the season today. Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
So we'll move on to our second place finisher, Dutch Tricks. We'll start off with qualifying. It looked like you had the pace in quali once again. Heading into the final couple of minutes, you were 3 tenths to the good over the guys behind, and then the track just seemed to dry out rather suddenly, and a couple of the guys further down the grid managed to get the dry tyres on and get a lap in.
Yeah, track seemed pretty wet at the end, and first sector was up 3 tenths or 4 tenths, and then everything went to dry immediately, and tires overheated too much, and yeah, it was done, and Brendan was behind me, so I had to back out. So yeah, it was pretty unfortunate that it happened, but still happy that I had the pace in the wets and intermediate conditions.
Yeah, and then it was quite a sort of a follow the leader sort of battle with Tico for the majority of that race, and then it was really the second stint where things started to get lively. You seem to have a better sort of pace on Tico when you was in clean air, but once you got to the back of him, you just couldn't seem to find a way past him.
Yeah,
is that just the nature of the track, or
yeah,
was Tico putting up a bit of a wall tonight?
Yeah, he was in front of me almost the whole race, but yeah, it's hard to overtake here when you're on the same strategy, almost have the same setup, and yeah, getting out of the corner, you don't have the good exit on the straight because of the dirty air you have in the corner in front, so you have to brake a lot more than in qualifying or in clean air, so it's pretty difficult to overtake over there. But yeah, still happy with the P2 of course, and was happy of course that Zach saw him spinning, so I thought, yeah, maybe
I was just gonna get onto that. I mean, had Zach not had his dramas and been sort of in that fight with you, would there have been? I think there was maybe one or two opportunities where you could have really had a go at a move on Tico, but thought better of it. If Zach had been there, would you have maybe approached it differently, or was the fact that Zach was a bit further down the grid, you was able to take it a bit easy tonight?
Yeah. Tico and I were in a party, so we're talking like, well, because I'm still in the fight with Zach for the championship, and Tico's a little bit more behind, of course. And we were like, yeah, just finish this race on a 1-2, and we have to do it, because this is probably the best chance to really close the gap of 18 points. And yeah, just finish it. And it was so hard to overtake him, because you don't want to spin out once again, like I had 4 or 5 times this season already, so wasn't planning on doing that. But yeah, almost also crashed out in the second sector, getting wing damage on the final 10 laps, so wasn't nice.
Okay, well, we go from the street track of Singapore onto a rather sort of short and high-speed circuit in Germany. You looking forward to that one, or?
Yeah, Germany normally pretty good track overall, so it shouldn't be too bad, and hoping that can get on the podium once again.
Well, you've made a little bit of a dent into Zach's gap at the top, so we're looking set for a good finish towards the end of the season. So well done tonight, and good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for commentating again.
There is, mate. So, LR Yogurts, welcome to FTRL podium interview. So, a very interesting debut from yourself there. Strong performance in qualifying. You obviously went to the alternate strategy to the front two there, starting on the hard tyre and then obviously finished on the medium, which meant that you were quick at the end. You just want to talk us through your race from your point of view? Sorry. Yeah, just want to obviously just say congratulations, on your debut podium. Just want to talk us through your race. Obviously, you went for the alternate strategy on the tyres. You started on the hards and then finished with the mediums, obviously, which meant that you were really quick at the end there. So you really closed in on the top two. Just want to sort of talk us through your race from your point of view. Yeah, the circuit is particularly hard on the tyres, isn't it? Oh, some quite heavy wear then at the end. Obviously, I'm assuming that's probably what caused you to have. We just sort of came to you as you had a moment and it seemed to clip the wall. Did you just spin up coming out of turn 4 and clip the inside wall? Well, still managing to bring home a P3 on debut is no mean feat in FTRL F1. Looking ahead to next week, then we're heading to Hockenheim. How do you feel about Hockenheim as a circuit? Is that one you enjoy, or...? No, you don't. Yes, I say it's a particularly tricky corner. Well, hopefully you'll be battling at the sharp end again next week, and congratulations on a debut podium.
And tonight's drive of the day went to Raver's Revenge. Good evening, my friend.
Hello.
Been a while. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. So, first points you picked up since Russia. Is it a bit of relief?
I suppose so, yeah. I've just been starting at the back because I've got no sort of confidence in traffic. So I just thought I'd start at the back, and it worked. So many accidents.
I was going to say, you managed to keep your nose clean in the opening lap. I think you was up by the end of lap 1 or lap 2. I think you was up to P8 or P7.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. When I think Pagani was retired, but I didn't know if his car was ghosted or not. So I came to a complete stop. I was like, "Is he ghosted? Oh, alright, I'll go. I'll carry on." Yeah. So yeah, that was alright.
Yeah. So we saw sort of midpoint of the race when you came in for your first stop. You decided to put the softs on. Was that just sheerly because you were sort of guaranteed points and you thought, well, I'll just try and get the extra one for the fastest lap?
Yeah, I decided before I'd do a 2-stop, and then because everyone crashed, I stuck with it, and I thought my second soft run, I'll get fastest. Well, I'll try and get the fastest lap at least, and get that extra point. And then yeah, that was what I was going to do from the start, really.
Yeah, now, I think that the Ravers Revenge fan club might have... well, they certainly weren't in the stream chat. I didn't see any Team Ravers stuff going up. So they might have missed your possibly strongest drive in a couple of weeks.
Well, they can go back onto the channel and re-watch it.
I'm sure they will.
Buy the DVD and all that.
They're devout followers, are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, got Germany next week. We've seen you go fairly well round there in the past, but that was past games and lower divisions. What are your expectations for next week?
Just turn up, just try my best. I'll try and put a bit more practice in. I haven't really had that much time recently, but yeah, just see what happens. Do a 3-stop. Try something different every week. Seems to work. Nah, just I'll see what happens. I might be able to do something. I don't know. I quite like the track, so.
Well done tonight, mate, and yeah, good luck for next week and the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So that brings an end to our F1 adventure in Singapore for this week, but of course don't go away because we've got plenty more racing action coming at you this week. Of course we've got tomorrow, Wednesday, for F2 and F3, both coming to you from Singapore. Thursday sees the return of the Performance League, and this week they are at the Cathedral of Speed that is Monza. And on Friday we go back to our standard GT Sport Racing. This week it's rounds 13 and 14 coming at you from the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit and the Kyoto Raceway as well, so be sure to tune in for that. Obviously we touched on this earlier, but we'd obviously again just like to say a massive thank you to everybody who contributed or took part in the GT Sport endurance race last night. Myself and Si were part of that, and we had an absolutely cracking time racing that. 4 hours of Mount Panorama was something to be a part of, and I think everybody who took part enjoyed every second of it, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show that we put on. Again, we set ourselves a target of raising £200 for Mind Charity, and to get over £450 so far. Still people who've said that they're going to put some money in, so that is an absolutely heroic effort from everybody who's been involved. So thank you so much to anybody who's donated. and we're certainly looking forward to doing something along those lines again in the not too distant future. But for tonight, for the F1 coverage, that is the end of the show. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we will see you tomorrow for F2. But for now, see ya.